Assalamualaikum. Hope you all will be fine, safe and sound. You all of know that we have started exercise of chapter number 8 in our previous lecture. Okay, and we have started long questions. So I will repeat your long questions again because we have not done all questions in our previous lecture. So come to your first question. Question number 1. You can see in your exercise. Okay, this is your question number 1. What are the effects of the lack of nitrate and magnesium ions on plant growth? This is very simple and this is true. This is very simple. We also have discussed in the chapter because nitrates and magnesium, they play a very important role in the life cycle of a plant. Okay, because nitrates, we get these nitrates from nitrogen. Now question is that how nitrogen is convert into nitrates. Its answer is very simple. When there is a lot of sunshine falls on the plants, so we all of know that 79% nitrogen is present in the air, so then it becomes the part of a plant. So the body of a plant absorb the nitrogen, and due to the reaction of oxygen it convert into nitrates. So these plants are eaten by animals, and animals are eaten by humans. So in this process the nitrogen becomes the part of humans indirectly. And there is another important element which is called magnesium. Magnesium also plays very important role because in the magnesium it helps in the growth of the plant. So importance of magnesium nitrate is that plant grow well in this environment, and magnesium also help in the growth of the plant. And lack of a magnesium, the leaves can be stunted, leaves can be wilted. Okay, so this is a long question and its answer is given on page number 141. You can see in the screen. I'm telling you the first long question answer is given in the book in page number 141. Now come to second long question. Okay, so see the screen. Second question is written: how are inorganic and organic fertilizers important in agriculture? You can find its answer on page number 142 in your book. Here the topic fertilizer is given. Before starting the types of fertilizer, we should be clear that what is a fertilizer. Fertilizer are those chemical substances which are mixed in the soil where the crops are grown, and because of them the crops becomes stable and they grow very well and they become fertile and they give us more food and fruit. And it also consists of different two types: inorganic fertilizers and organic fertilizers. Inorganic fertilizers are those in which no chemical is produced. It is a natural substance. And organic fertilizers are those in which chemical substances are added, and they are made by scientists and they are prepared in the science lab. So this whole part we can discuss and we can find on page number 142. So when you attempt this long question, first you have to tell the definition of fertilizers. Then you will tell there are two types of fertilizers: organic fertilizers and inorganic fertilizer. And after that you will write the definition, and you will also write the examples of organic and inorganic fertilizers. So this answer you can find in your book on page number 142. Now come to question number 3. Draw a label that can show sources, energy values and functions, carbohydrates, proteins and fats. This is your question number 3, and you also have discussed all these food groups in your book. Okay, in which you will make a table. First you will write the type of a food. Second you will write the sources of food. How do we get these sources? Okay, energy values, that how much kilocalories we should use per a day, and functions of and functions. Okay, you will make a table in which you make a 4 column. First you will write the type of a food. Secondly you will write the sources. Okay, third you will write the energy values, and the fourth column you will write the functions. Okay, and you have to tell only 3 foods about carbohydrates, proteins and fats. So these all things are given in your book. You will find their answer from these topics in your book. Now question number 4. This is also a long question. How are vitamin A, C and D important in our diet? We also have discussed in the group of vitamins. The vitamins are necessary for our body, and vitamins further divided into two types. One is called fat soluble vitamins, and second is called water soluble vitamins. Okay, so water soluble vitamins are A, D, E, and K. Vitamin C is a fat soluble vitamin. So in your book you have to just explain vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin D. And if you keep in your mind, we also have discussed all these things in the chapter. Vitamin A, how do we get, what are the sources of vitamin A, when it was discovered, okay, and what are its energy values, and why they are important for us. And if there is a deficiency of any vitamin in the body, it can cause of a deficiency disease. Okay, so you can find this answer about vitamin A, C, and D from page number 144 till page number 147. So you have to mark in your book. It will start from page number 144 till page number 147. Now come to question number 5. This is another long question. Which foods contain calcium and iron, and what role these minerals play in our bodies? We all of know this thing that calcium and iron, they both are very important for our body. Okay, you can find their answer on page number 142. So I will explain you what is calcium and what is iron. We all of know that our body needs a lot of calcium for their growth, and iron is a very important chemical which we can found in the form of hemoglobin on our red blood cells. So when red blood cells produce in our body, their lifespan is very short. They alive in our body only for 3 to 4 months. So when calcium and iron, these both minerals play very important role inside our body. Because of calcium, our bones become strong. Okay, and bones play very important role inside our body because they produce red blood cells and store minerals for our body. And iron, it is present in the form of a chemical which is called hemoglobin, and it is present on our red blood cell. So when these both minerals are combined inside our body, they make our body strong and healthy. So these are very, very important minerals inside our body, and in a detail you can find on page number 145 in your book. Now come to another long question. This is question number 6. Why are water and dietary fibers considered important in our diets? This is another important long question. Why are water and dietary fiber considered important in our diets? As we know that water and dietary fiber, they both are very important. Water plays a vital important role inside our body. So how it is important, and dietary fiber? We all of know that there are different types of food which are called dietary fiber, which are mainly consist of water, and they are very important. For why they are important? The main important working of dietary fiber is that it consists of a lot of water, and when this water mixed with our undigested food, so because of that it helps in elimination. It prevents the constipation. And water, all we all of know that all biochemical reactions happens inside our body in the blood. So our blood mainly 70% of our blood consists of water. Our blood has two important parts. One is called plasma and the other is called serum. So 70% of blood consists of water. Because of that, all biochemical reactions inside our body in the blood, which is mainly water, and it can make the metabolism fast. So because of due to fast metabolism, digestion is done inside our body completely and smoothly. Now come to another long question. This is question number 7 given in your exercise. Define balanced diet. How would you relate it with age, gender, and activity? So its answer is very simple. Question number 6 answer you can find on page number 150. It is given in your book. Question number 6 answer is given on page number 150. Now come to question number 7. Define balanced diet. How would you relate it with age, gender, and activity? This answer is given on page number 151 and 152. So now we will discuss what is a balanced diet. We all of know our body need different types of food in different times. So we should take balance and we should change our food. Our food should be consist of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and vitamins. Okay, so if there is a missing of any food in our body, it can cause of deficiency disease. For example, if we talk about vitamin A, if there is a lack of vitamin A inside our body, it can cause of poor blindness. It can cause of color blindness. Okay, and if there is vitamin C deficiency inside, it can cause a scurvy, and it can cause of other diseases. If there is a deficiency of other things, it can cause of marasmus and rickets and other. Vitamin D, lack of vitamin D, a person can caught by rickets. So balanced diet is very important for our health. So we should take balanced diet in daily basis. So how would you relate it with age, gender, and activity? This is also very important because it relates with age, gender, and activity. If there is a young child, it needs plenty of carbohydrates and fats. And its activity is different because when it will play, it will do physical activity. It can digest all these things, and these calories will burn inside body, and its body will be active. But as compared to a old man, a old person cannot take high much energy foods inside body because its physical activity is low, so it will not be digested and can cause and other problems inside the body. Okay, so you can find its complete answer from in your book, page number 151 and page number 152. Come to question number 8. Describe how protein, energy, malnutrition, mineral deficiency disease, and over intake of nutrients are the major forms of malnutrition. Okay, so you can find its answer in your book from page number 153 till page number 155. Okay, so you also have discussed in the book protein, energy, malnutrition, the short form PEM. So the deficiency of PEM can cause of many diseases inside body. For example, kwashiorkor and marasmus. Kwashiorkor is a disease in which a child needs all type of food, but its body will not grow. And in marasmus, its body will be grow, but it will not take proper food. So these two diseases can be produced due to PEM. There is another type of malnutrition which is called mineral deficiency disease. Means short form we call it MDD. So due to mineral deficiency disease, for example, I have discussed in above the question that if there is a deficiency of vitamin C, it can cause of scurvy. If there is a deficiency of vitamin D, it can cause of rickets. Okay, and it is a disease in which there is a lack of minerals inside the bones, and the bones began to twist. Okay, and there is another type of malnutrition is given, which is called over intake of nutrients. In short form, we call it OIN, over intake of nutrient. If a person is taking overdose of balanced diet, so because of that, it can cause of different diseases. The main disease is obesity. Obesity is that a person is taking more food, its physical activity is less, and because of that, fats will be made in his body, and because of that, it can cause many diseases. The main cause of obesity is that it leads to heart attack. Okay, because our veins and arteries are very narrow, and so we need thin blood. So because of that over intake of nutrients, the blood will become viscous, and definitely it will not move through arteries and veins properly. So our organs inside our body cannot take proper oxygen. So lack of oxygen can cause of heart attack, and sometimes a person cannot be survive. So when we discuss these all things under the heading of malnutrition, so we will know that PEM, MDD, and OIN, these are the major sources of malnutrition. Okay, and you can find their answer from page number 153 to 155. Now come to another long question. This is question number 9 given in your book. You can find how would you advocate the unequal distribution of food as the major factor that contributes to famine. Okay, so famine is a common thing if there is a over unequal distribution of food among the people, so it can leads to famine. And it's big example of Ethiopia where the people never get the proper food, so lack of the food, they go they lead towards the death. Okay, so you can find its answer, its causes, its sources and its reason on page number 156 in your book. So mark in your book. Now come to question number 10. Describe structures and functions of the main region of alimentary canal. Answer is very simple. Describe structures and functions of the main regions of alimentary canal. If you keep in your mind the discussion of your book, when we have started alimentary canal, we all of know that alimentary canal is the part of your digestive system. And digestive system, first of all, started from your mouth. From mouth, it is called oral cavity. In mouth, there is teeth which have to grind the food and chewing the food, and there is saliva is produced. So saliva is a slippery mess which roll up with the food and make it soften. That's why it goes into our pharynx. Along with your pharynx and larynx, there is another tube which is called food pipe, and in other words we can say it is called esophagus. So when food enters into the esophagus, so in esophagus there are fine hairs inside the esophagus. They are rubber-like bands and they are contract and relaxed when the food enters into the esophagus. And because of that, these movements, the movements of contraction and relaxation in the esophagus, they are called peristalsis. After peristalsis, the food enters into your stomach, and we have discussed here your stomach consists of two portions, and these first is called pyloric sphincter, and the second one is first is called cardiac sphincter, and the second part is called pyloric sphincter. From cardiac sphincter, it goes into your pyloric, and at that time a special gastric juice is produced inside your stomach. Okay, and this juice is very important because it roll up the food and make it more soften and digestible. After that stomach food is entered into small intestine. So the early part of small intestine is called duodenum and ileum. Okay, so first is called duodenum, then jejunum, and the last part is called ileum. And after that, undigested food is stored into your large intestine. From there, large intestine also consists of three parts: ileum, cecum, ileum, and colon. So ultimately, it is discharged from your anus. So these all are the portions of our alimentary canal. So in this question number 10, you have to define all these portions of alimentary canal, okay, which I have discussed with you. Now come to question number 11. Describe swelling and peristalsis. Okay, describe swelling and peristalsis. It means you have to just write the definition of swelling and peristalsis. How a person do the swelling and how a person do the peristalsis movements inside the body. Okay, so its answer you can find on page number 157. This is question number 11. Okay, this is question number 11, and you find its answer on page number 157 in your book. Now this is question number 12, a last long question of the exercise. Briefly give the signs and symptoms, causes, treatments and preventions of diarrhea, constipation and ulcer. So this is very simple. You also discuss all these things in the under the heading of disorders of gut, and these are given on page number 165 and 166. Okay, so you can find question number 12 answer on page number 165 and 166, and you will make the heading. First you will give the heading of diarrhea, then you write the introduction. Okay, what is the introduction of diarrhea? Then you write the causes. Okay, what are the causes of diarrhea? Then you write the symptoms. So what are the symptoms of diarrhea? Then you write the treatment, how can we treat it, and the next you will give the heading of prevention. So these headings are very important, and in this question they are asking signs and symptoms. Definitely, what are the signs and symptoms of the disease? Causes, okay, how is it done in the body? Treatment, how can we treat it? What medicines are required to treat this disease? And preventions, and prevention is okay, how can we stop this disease inside the body? So these four headings you have to give and write the answers of diarrhea, constipation and ulcer. Diarrhea and constipation, they are easy, but ulcer, I would like to explain it again, that ulcer further divided into three parts. It has three types, or how do we treat it? You have to clear all these things in your long question. I hope you understand your all long question. Now we will go to the next page. Your short questions are left. Now we will discuss the short questions. Come to the next page. Page number. Okay, beta. These are short questions given in your book. Okay. So first you will write that this is the first short question is given in your book. If you see the book, so beta, you can see what is the health risk if we take more saturated fatty acids in our diet. Okay, you can find its answer on page number 143. If you see in your book, page number 143, you can find its answer. I am repeating the answer which is given in your book, page number 143. Okay, beta. Its answer is given in a side box. Saturated fatty acids can increase a person's cholesterol level, and increased cholesterol level may eventually result in the clogging of arteries and and ultimately heart diseases. So this answer is given on page number 143 under the heading of lipids. It's a side box. This is your short question number 1 answer. Okay, now come to question number 2. How can the deficiency of vitamin A cause blindness? Okay, how the deficiency of vitamin A can cause blindness? You can find its answer on page number 146. Look at your book. There is a table is given. Okay, function deficiencies are sources of important vitamins. Under this table, you can see paragraph is given. The second line of the paragraph. Deficiency of vitamin A. I hope you find in your book. Deficiency of vitamin A is the leading cause of blindness in children worldwide. One of the symptoms of vitamin A deficiency is night blindness. It is a temporary condition, but if left untreated, it can cause permanent blindness. Vitamin A deficiency can also cause a condition in which their follicles become plugged with keratin, giving texture to skin. Okay, you have to underline in your book. Its answer is on page number 156. Under the table, the paragraph is given, the second line of the paragraph, deficiency of vitamin A. It will start from here till giving by texture to skin. Okay, I hope you understand the answer. Now come to question number 3, third short question. See on the screen. This is your third short question. You can also see. And this is also very important. How will you differentiate between bolus and chyme? Okay, if you keep in your mind human digestive system under the headings of elementary canal, we have discussed the bolus. So first we will discuss the definition of bolus. It is given in your page number 158. So please take out page number 158 of your book. You can see above the diagram. Above the diagram in your book, page number 158, diagram of parts of the oral cavity is given. Above the diagram, the last paragraph, during the processes of chewing, lubrication, and semi-digestion. I hope you find in your book, during the processes of chewing, lubrication, and semi-digestion, the pieces of food are rolled up by the tongue into small, slippery spherical mass called bolus. So this is a definition of bolus. So when you have to attempt this question, because in this question they are asking about the differentiate, so you will make a column, and in first column you will write bolus, and in the second column you will write the chyme. So this is a definition of bolus given on page number 158. Now take out page number 167 in your book. You can see page number 167. Pink box is given. Above the pink box, the answer is given. The starch in our bite of bread and the protein in mutton have been partially digested, and the food has been converted to a sweet-like mixture called chyme. what is happen inside the body, when the food which we are taking inside our body and when the process of digestion is happening in the body, the part of the food which convert into a soup like mixture, so that soup like mixture is called chyme. So mark the definition in your book and you have to write in your register. I hope you understand it. Now come to next short question. Question number 4. Which sphincters play a role in the movement of food in and out of the stomach? So now take out the topic stomach in your book, which is given on page number 160. So you have to understand the question very carefully. Question is that which sphincters play role? We have discussed in under the heading of stomach. Okay, you can see this is your question number 4 of 4 short question. So this is very important. We have to keep in our mind that our stomach consists of 2 portions. A rear part is called cardiac portion, and in other words we can say cardiac sphincter, and the second lower portion is called pyloric portion and pyloric sphincter. So in this question they are asking which sphincters play a role in the movement of food. So definitely from esophagus first your food will be entered into your cardiac sphincter, okay, where the special gastric juice should be entered inside the food and will convert into a thick liquid form, and at the same time hydrochloric acid will be produced inside your body. The important working of hydrochloric acid in our stomach is that it convert inactive enzyme pepsinogen into pepsin in the form of activeness, okay, and its important function is that to kill unwanted germs present on our food, okay. So what will we do? Which sphincters play a role in the movement of food? So cardiac sphincter and pyloric sphincter. And out of stomach, so definitely food first will enter into cardiac sphincter from esophagus, and it will be out from the stomach from pyloric sphincter, and pyloric sphincter further connected with your small intestine. So when it will be entered into small intestine, the early part of small intestine is called duodenum, and duodenum is connected with liver. At that time, liver produce a hormone which is called bile. It is stored in the gallbladder. So from gallbladder, this fluid will enter into small intestine and mix with, and further the digestion will be happen. So you can also write its answer in your own words, and you can also find its answer on page number 166, 160 under the heading of stomach. You can find stomach is dilated part of alimentary canal, the first paragraph of your page, okay. It is J-shaped, located in the left of abdominal just beneath diaphragm. Stomach has 2 main portions. Cardiac portion of stomach is present immediately after esophagus, and pyloric portion is located beneath cardiac portion. Stomach has 2 sphincters openings which are guarded by muscles. Cardiac sphincter is between stomach and esophagus, while pyloric sphincter is between stomach and small intestine. So bolus enters stomach from esophagus through cardiac sphincters. So this answer is given in your book, first paragraph under the heading of stomach. This is the answer of question number 4, short question. But if you write in your own word, it should be better that you have to write from your book. Now come to question number 5. This is another short question, the last question of this chapter. Stomach is an organ of the digestive system, but it also secretes a hormone. What hormone is it and what function it performs? I have told you when I was discussing the alimentary canal, when the food enters into the stomach, at the same time a gastric juice is produced inside the stomach, which roll up the food. But you can also find it in its answer. Again, page number 160, second paragraph, above the diagram, second paragraph, it is given. I am reading this paragraph. You can also see in your book. When food enters the stomach, the gastric glands found in the stomach wall are stimulated to secrete gastric juice. This is a hormone which is produced in the stomach, that is called gastric juice. Gastric juice is composed chiefly of mucus, hydrochloric acid, and a protein digestion enzyme pepsinogen. Yes, hydrochloric acid converts the inactive enzyme pepsinogen into its active form, that is called pepsin. HCl also kills a microorganism present in food. Pepsin partially digests the protein portion of food like bulk of mutton into polypeptides and shortened peptide chains. So it's your question number 5, short question. I hope you understand and mark in your book. Now your chapter number 8 has been ended. Okay, and under the this short question, you can see this topic is given the terms to know. I hope you also have done all these definitions with me when during the lecture. First is amylase, then there is a amylase definition, then there is a anemia. Anemia means lack of blood in appendix. It's a tube in your lower abdomen. Dissemination is a process of digestion. Balanced diet, our body needs balanced diet. Bolus, we have discussed now. It is a part of food which is convert into with the help of lubrication called bolus. Then cardiac sphincter is the early part of your stomach. Chyme is a soup-like mixture. Colon is the last part of large intestine. Constipation, definitely when feces will not discharge properly from the body, that can cause a constipation. Diarrhea is have some symptoms which we have discussed: body stools, nausea, vomiting. Then there is a dietary fiber mainly a food which consists of mainly water. There is a digestion. It is a process in which the large particles of food converted to small and ultimately digested in our small intestine. Duodenum is the early part of small intestine in which bile is enter and make the food more softened. Emulsification is the process of digestion. Okay, we have discussed 4 steps. Epiglottis is the part of before the with the pharynx with your voice box, and it is connected with esophagus. Famine is the lack of food, unequal distribution of food among the people. So fat soluble vitamin is a type of vitamin. The fat soluble vitamin consists of A, D, E, and K, and they play a very important role in the growth of a person. Fertilizer, the substances which are important for the fertility of the soil and which make the food, and because of them more fruit and more crops we can get. Gastric juice, it is a juice which is produced by stomach which rolled up the food and convert into a thick liquid like structure. Gastrin, it is also a hormone which is produced from gastric glands in the stomach. Goiter, it is a disease. It is a deficiency of iron. If there is a deficiency of iodine inside our body, it can cause a goiter in which the thyroid glands become swell and a person can be died. Then ileum is the last part of small intestine where the ultimately food is digested. Then there is a intestinal juice. Definitely intestinal juice enters into the food in ileum, the last part of the small intestine. Jejunum is the middle part of the small intestine. Then kwashiorkor is a disease due to PEF, due to protein energy deficiency. Lacteal means the problem which is produced due to lack of lactic acid, and lactic acid is mainly consist of milk. Okay, laxatives. Then lipase is an enzyme. Then liver is an organ. There is a malnutrition. Marasmus we have discussed due to PEM. Marasmus and kwashiorkor can be happen. So marasmus is a disease. Mineral deficiency, a disease means MDD, in which we have discussed scurvy due to lack of vitamin C, recurrence due to lack of vitamin D, and iodine due to lack of goiter due to lack of iodine in the body. Nutrition means the particles of the food which is important for the health of a person and they make the body healthy. Esophagus is a food pipe. Oral cavity means your mouth which consists of teeth, saliva, and tongue. Okay, and at that time it also has salivary glands which produce special hormones in the mouth. Because of their food becomes slippery and roll up. Okay, over intake of nutrients, it is another disease of malnutrition, in which a person if take overdose of a food, so because of that it can be cause of obesity, and obesity it can cause of many problems inside. It can make the raise the level of cholesterol inside the body, okay, and it can cause of heart disease. Then there is a pancreas. Pancreas is the largest gland of the body. In pancreas, this is very important because in pancreas three important enzymes are produced, which are called protease, amylase, and carbohydrates. So protease only digests proteins present in the food. Carbohydrates only digest carbohydrates present in the food, and amylase convert to fatty and cholesterol spaces inside our body. Then there is another definition which is called pancreatic juice. So when the food enters into pancreas, pancreatic juice consists of enzyme entering into the food. Pepsin comes from pepsinogen. Pepsinogen is an inactive enzyme. Pepsin is an active enzyme in the stomach. Then there is a peristalsis when the food enters into the esophagus. So a contraction and relaxation of that esophagus called peristalsis movements. Pharynx is also called a voice box, and it is closely connected with your esophagus. So that's why we have to say when we are taking, we should not take if any part of a food goes into the, it can cause of a severe cough, and the person feels irritation. Next is protein energy malnutrition, means PEM. We have discussed PEM can cause of three important diseases. These are the part of malnutrition. Malnutrition means if there is a proper lack of food inside the body, then there is a pyloric sphincter. Pyloric sphincter is the lower part of the stomach in which the food is rolled up, and in that part, inactive enzyme pepsinogen convert into active form, which is called pepsin. Rectum is a sac-like structure at the end of alimentary canal, okay, and it consists of lot of muscle. So when it contracts and relax, so because of the undigested food is released from our body. Saliva is produced in our mouth through our salivary glands, okay. When food is grinded by our teeth, so it should be made softened, so it is soft, it makes soft due to the saliva when it mixed with food and rolled up. Then there is a starvation. Starvation means if there is a lack of food, okay, and a person feel hunger, so hunger can cause a famine, okay. And there is a stomach. I have told you there is a common concept in junior classes you have studied that the food is digested in our stomach, but now this concept should be clear to you that stomach is a sac like J-type bag which only just store the food. When we are eating, the role of stomach is that it just store the food, and where is the food is ultimately digested, it is ultimately digested in the walls of small intestine which are called villi. Then there is a swallowing. Swallowing means the food which we gulp inside our body, and it also becomes a part of our body. Then there is a trace minerals. We have discussed in the mineral that we have two types of minerals in our surrounding. One are called major minerals, and other are called trace minerals. So our body needs major minerals in large quantity and trace minerals in less quantity. Then there is a trypsin. So we have discussed about the pepsinogen. Pepsinogen convert the enzyme into pepsin, and pepsin further when convert into polypeptides and amino acid chain, then it convert into trypsin. Then we have discussed about the ulcer. Ulcer is a disease. It is a disorder of a gut. Ulcer is a disease in which three types of ulcer are produced. Ulcer actually the inflammation of the liver, okay, in which sometimes your gut, your esophagus, the part of chest can be inflamed. Sometimes the liver is inflamed, and if we never cure it, it can cause of tumor on liver, okay. So ulcer is very important. There are three types of ulcer. One is esophageal ulcer, second is stomach ulcer, and the third one is your duodenal ulcer, okay. After that, there is another definition which is called villus. And villus is that in which these are the small finger-like projections of villi. And vitamins we have discussed, and two types of vitamin, water soluble and fat soluble, and there is the last one which is called water soluble vitamin. So students, your chapter number 8 is completely I have discussed with you. I hope you understand it. Please mark all these definitions in your chapter. Your lecture has been ended. Inshallah, we will start our next chapter in our next lecture. Allah Hafiz.